Hey Golf Gang, and welcome back to another Path of Exile video. This is the build I've been testing for the past few weeks, the high level Heister, as you can see in the title of this POB. This character follows on and expands on the low level endless heist character video I put out a couple of days ago. With this character can do the low level heisting. It can do the endless heist running at 66 to 67, which opens up contracts for mapping materials such as actual maps or sextants and fragments and scarabs and all that kind of things. I don't do that. I haven't covered that. It's something I will do when I got a bit more currency. I might put one together and see how we go. But this one then can do that. This one also can go into maps and do maps, and it can also do blueprint farming, where you go into the actual blueprints and you open the big chest and then you get the reward at the end, either unusual gems or replica uniques. Those tend to be the favourites depending on which builds are in the meta and your luck, of course. Replica unique can be a bit dodgy. You can do 4 or 5 and not see anything, or you can do 2 or 3 and get to the rarest replica uniques in the system. So it is a bit side to side. Unusual gems are by far the more accurate way to do blueprint farming. That's where most people make their money when they do the blueprint farming. This build can do all of that. I also put a video out a couple of days ago, I think, maybe a bit more than that, showing this particular build doing a T16 Kirak mission. I did die a few times. You can go and watch specifics in that video. But in my defense, I didn't have a 6-link Queen of the Forest and the passive tree was not set up correctly, so hopefully that will bid a little bit in my defense. This POB is set up like the last one I did for the endless heist characters, so we've got all the act progression here where you should be approximately. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm usually a point over or 2 when I'm leveling through the campaign. In Act 2 we do pick up this int node just to make it easier on our gems, and then we remove it in Act 6, by which point you've taken an int node here and a couple of other, I think this got int, there's another int node somewhere, or you've got int on your gear. Either way, you'll have enough intelligence so you'll be able to remove Wisdom of the Glade. Then we go through all the way through to Act 9, and there's the tree there. Once you get to Act 9, like the last video, the low-level endless heist, you go up to the point to collect the staff to kill Katava. You give that to Innocence. He opens up the canals. You can go in there and do some leveling if you want to. We do not kill Act 10 Katava if you're going to do this level 59 to 60 endless heist. At this point, you pop into the rogue harbour, and as per my previous videos, you just do endless heist to build up some chaos, 100 or so. If you want to do this on a league start, depending on how quickly you can get through that, depends on how much time you spend there, or depends on your goals for the league. Either way, once you're happy that you've done endless heist, or you don't want to do level 59-60 endless heist, into Act 10 to kill Katava. Once he's dead, you can then go and map or level in heist, depending. And at level 70, we add in a cluster jewel. By this point, you've brought from trade, or you've got from a blueprint, replica Conqueror's Efficiency. You do need one of those, so that should be one of your first purchases as soon as possible in a trade league. Level 75, 80, 85 is all just expanding on the tree and expanding our big cluster up here. Level 90, we're in deep into the cluster. You've got options here. If you want to put more points in the cluster setup, I would suggest dropping this life node, and if you then must this life mastery, that'll give you 3 extra points to put into your clusters and get that setup done a bit more quickly. Feel free to tinker with the tree. Just remember, you've got to have your 100% spell suppression. You're going to need high strength and high intelligence rolls on your gear or on the tree, and you keep an eye on your mana reservation. The quicker you can get all your auras on, the better. Once you hit level 90, you can go further. It depends on how good you are at leveling and staying alive. It is softcore, but the penalty for dying after 90 is horrendous. So if you're a person that usually only gets to about 85 to 90, then that's it, done. Stay there, no problems. If you're a person that can easily get to 95, then choose which way you're going to go before you start leveling. The trees are completely different. Assuming the ascendancy jewels don't change, I'll put out another POB anyway. With 3.18 goes patch notes are done. Without the ascendancy, what we do is just come through and do another cluster setup with that point there leading into a life small cluster jewel with blessed. Essentially this is going to give us 6% life, 10% max mana and some chaos resist, and then on these nodes we get some more 4% lives. None of the cluster jewels in this build I've added, I haven't added anything to them, they are just the notables. So if you need extra mana regen or health regen or extra attributes or even resists, look for them on your clusters. There's lots of movement there on the mediums and on the smalls. You know, you can even get some on the large, plus your gear obviously. If you've got the money or the grindability and you want to add the ascendancy jewels, your tree is going to look like this. And then again, going back to dropping 1 or 2 or 3, you put a point in this jewel socket here and pick up the forbidden flesh, matching jewel. Sorry, I had an itch. And then at level 100 again, if you really want to take it that far, there's your setup. So that's a tree. I've got some suggested gear routes and gem setups, so look at the gems first. So on your league start, this is assuming you've got 4 links everywhere by the time you get to Act 6 when you can pick up all your gems. I haven't finished off the movement boots, looks like I forgot because I'm an idiot, I apologise. That just becomes Frost Blink. Yeah, it becomes Frost Blink, that comes off, that becomes Life Tap. They go down to level 10. And that becomes Second Wind. There we go, that's that corrected. So there you go, there's all your 4 links. If you get a 5 link before, you know, around about level 60 to 80, then obviously you're going to go into, I would put it in your weapon first, over your body armor. You're not going to have the mana to run all of these. You might do, it just depends whether you've got an enlighten or not. I would still go your weapon first if you've got the currency to buy, or you get a bow drop that is 5/6 link. Do your toxic rain ballista first. As for your body armor, after you've got your vitality, grace, malevolence, defiance banner, the next one is determination. You really can't fit that in until you've got an enlighten and some investment in mana reservation. Your glove setup, I've put toxic rain in there for clear, but as per the notes, you do swap toxic rain out for caustic arrow on the campaign bosses. It's just more damage and gives you some more maneuverability. The animation for toxic rain is longer than caustic arrow. And then your movement skill in your boots. And then we've got the end game setup, which does include alt quality. I've missed off the A there. Let's put that back in. There we go. Alt quality and woke gems. So in your totem here, we're looking for phantasmal toxic rain, anomalous efficacy, awakened vish proj, and void manipulation, and anomalous withering touch. Castle limit taken, you want all anomalous everywhere apart from the increased duration. And it goes on. Some of these gems are going to be very expensive depending on the league and depending on what GGG does with awakened and alt quality gems. I will put other videos out as leagues become and things change. Suggested items, again, we've got the suggested items here. League start, 4 link quill rain, by far the best, and to start getting into an actual hunter influenced chaos damage over time. Bow, quill rain will see you through. 4 link, 5 link, 6 link, all the way. Here is Bite. It is the best quiver until we can get a hunter influenced broadhead quiver, because it's got the stats on there we need. It's got attack speed, it's got area effect, and it's got a bit of life gain as well. So absolutely awesome quiver. The gear for this setup, it is just armor evasion with some life, and stats on the leather belt with some life, and resistances. That's what I can find of. Obviously, when you're going through the campaign, you want to try and keep your resist as high as possible to stop yourself from taking so much damage. Same with your chaos resistance. Ideally, you just want that above 0, unless you're going to do being maps, and then you want as much chaos resist as possible. Same with your flasks. Life flask with beast crafted immunity to bleed. A quicksilver flask, the one you get from Act 1, will do you. If you want to roll it, by all means do so. You can't get increased movement speed on a quicksilver until I think eye level 17, which puts it around Act 3. So even the quicksilver flask you get in Act 2 from the den won't be able to roll increased movement speed, which is why I do the boot recipe, and use the quicksilvers on there to give myself guaranteed 15% increased move speed. Flask, granite, jade and stibnite are your go-to flasks for utility flasks. You can get all of these through doing the quests in the campaign, and I do suggest you do them. Beastcraft it with freeze chill, immunity, ignite immunity and reduced shock effect, assuming of course you have the beasts to do that. So that's all that there. And then we're going to the notes section. I've done like I did with the other one. It's not as I haven't put much time into this one as I did the last one, but essentially it's the same. These are the colours you're looking for and the links you're looking for in Act 1. This is where you should be at the end of the act in yellow. Apologies to those who are colourblind. Hopefully it's not too bad for you. Act 2 and what gems to pick up. Then to buy the Hoop of Alls at level 24. By Act 6 you should have enough to craft your own Hero's Bite, if not beforehand. All depends whether you can get a GCP for that Rain of Arrows. Orbs of Chance are easy. Shark Tooth, normal Shark Tooth quivers drop on the ground all the time, or you can buy them from a vendor. And obviously you got the Onyx amulet recipe as well. In Act 6 we do like we did in the last one. You buy your missing gems, and then you set up all your 4 links, and make sure you've got the gems you're not using in your offhands to level up. And then if you're in trade, you want to be buying that Enlighten, preferably on day 1. They usually go anywhere between 30 and 70 C on day 1, rising to multiple exalts after a week or 2. So the quicker you can get an Enlighten, the better. It's going to take you a while to level it up, but at least you've got one. And then it's on to gear, like your Devoto's Devotion, your 6-link Quill Ring, Ash of the Stars Amulet, 6-link Queen of the Forest, your Stygian Vice, Searching Eye, rings, boots, gloves. It's suggested rolls on there as well, but the gear has got better rolls on there. And then you can upgrade your 6-link bow. This is one I was talking about. If we go into the gear here and switch over to this is basically the same. It's just whether you get, why that's not right. Oh, I'll fix that before I publish it. I'll fix that. I don't know why that's done that. I'll fix it. But this is the kind of bow you'll be looking at end game here, and then that is the type of quiver you'll be looking at as well. That is the perfectly rolled quiver. I'm not sure how hard to get it is. You probably might want to plug it into Craft of Exile or buy one from trade. It's going to be quite expensive because it's going to be hunter influenced, and you want those exact rolls if you want to go BIS. Alternatively, you just use the quiver arrow as a stat stick, getting missing resistances, life, and then whatever else you might need on there. As for the rest of the gear, it is pretty much life, resists and attributes until you get to the rings. This is probably going to be the hardest one. Ideally it would be a Vermilion ring because our life is quite low as a ranger, but outside of that you just need a ring that's got despair, into high intelligence role, and then the ability to craft that non-challenging skills, and then equality with the life of mana to get the -8 cost, which then makes our toxic rain free. As you see there, the mana cost is 0. Makes our caustic arrow free, makes all our mana costs free, and we've still got a ton of unreserved mana. At that stage you could probably drop some mana and make some changes yourself, but ultimately it does depend on whether you want a enlighten in there and other factors, or whether you can even pick up these rings. So there we go, that's the path of building all gone through. I do have a character here for some gameplay. Now unfortunately I could not get a 6-linked Queen of the Forest in Arch Nemesis League. Excuse me, I just need a drink. There we go. So I had to resort to coming into standard. So far on this project I've spent over 30 exalts, a couple of thousand chaos, 2,000 to 3,000 chromatic orbs, about 4,000 jewelers, and about 5,000 fusings. But this character has got it. It's got an okay-ish 6-linked bow. It is slightly better than a 6-link quill range. Just happened to be one I had laying around in my standard stash tabs, like most of the gear on this character. The gem setups are the same as those just shown in the POB. There's my devotion. I just happen to have this one laying around, which is why it's got that incorrect enchant on there. It's from an old build I had a few leagues ago. That's my cast when damage taken setup. And then we've got the Queen of the Forest. What I did is just pop back to the hideout and I'll show you how I did it. I had a 6-link Queen of the Forest laying around. I went up to my crafting bench. I went up into here and typed 3. I took it down to 3 sockets. Bang! I then hit it with the 3 red sockets to guarantee the 3 red sockets I needed. I then changed that and typed in sockets. Because we're on 3 sockets, I then went up to 4 and hoped to get a blue. And then if it wasn't blue, back down to 3, up to 4 until I got the blue. And then I did the same to get the 5th socket. 5 to 4, 5 to 4, 5 to 4. Once I'd got the 2 blue, I then prayed, because I only had 400 jewelers left. And as you can see, it's 350 for the 6th socket. I hit that, and thankfully I got a green one. I then just went 6 and spent all my fusings on linking it. So that is how I got the chest. And I will suggest that's how you do it. It is very unlikely you will find a pre-coloured Queen of the Forest up for sale with 3 red, 2 blue. I would use the currency to buy enough jewelers and fusings, and then go after the recipes from wherever they happen to be, so you can 6-socket and do your own, because it's going to be a far cheaper. The gear on this character is normal gear. We've got the Ashes of the Star there. It does have an incorrect anoint on there. I haven't put sovereignty on there. Nice rings on there, and okay quiver. It's not on the right base, just happened to be one I had laying around. Same with the boots and the gloves and Stygian Vice and Abyss Jewel. Flasks are pretty normal. Again, they're as per the POB. Nothing dodgy about those at all. They're all normal flasks. You can get them in League. I know some people have this thing where every character in Standard has multiple Legacy gear or Mirror Tier gear. Not all of us are like that. I do have this very nice trinket, double duplicate currency chance to drop, and chromatic orbs dropping as fusing. That is very nice. I managed to get that out of a blueprint. The only thing legacy on this character is the Quicksilver Flask. It does have the old value of 20% increased movement speed during flask effect, rather than the capped 8%, which is now in League. Passive tree is the same as I've just showed you on the POB. I've got my full mortifying effect mana reservation jewel. It doesn't have the increased effect on there, but it's, it works. and I've put in my 2-stat 4% increased max life with the blessed implicit. This one does have the increased effect, so that's quite cool. And there we go, blessed gives a 6% increased life, 10% increased mana, and some chaos resist. Looking at my resists, we are 75, 75, 75, 53, which is quite good. Now let's do some gameplay. We'll grab a chunk of markers, as you can see. Tell it standard. Let's grab a... Have I got any agility ones? Yes. Let's grab an agility one. Pow! Let's go. This character is level 93, so we've been able to get most of what we need, which is why we are quite speedy. Throw in the contract. And off we go. First thing we do when interested in doing a contract, once we get into the contract, there we go, is we have a look around. We have got currency, Harvey currency, essence, fossils. I'll be guaranteed to get the Harvey and the currency nodes. Whoops, wrong button. Let's just drop some thingies and get those. After that, not sure. I'll definitely go for the fossils. I've used quite a lot of fossils in my standard. Tabs to craft some caster jewels. That's better, I can see where I am now. Through the door. Through the door. I've chosen, I'll go through the M2X after. The reason I've got that blue shimmer is because I can actually tell where my character is. Don't worry, it's not your software playing up. I don't use sound on PLE, which is why it's quiet. Grab that one, pick up all the currency. No exalts, shards or exalts for me today, it seems. Round we go. Normally I'd pick up the smaller chests, but with the amount of large chests we've got available to us on this contract, I won't bother. I'd rather get the large ones. Sanctified fossil. Oh, grab some essences. Here we go. Now I'll grab a small one. That'll probably cap me out. Nothing out of that. Let's go. Open the door. Through here. Door. End game. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Doors open. Bop, bop, and off we go. Whoops, misjudged that. Come on. Right. That's right. This is why I've got my molten shell on my bar, and go. Boom. Molten shell is not on cooldown. We can get through those without a problem. Unfortunately, molten shell is on a massive duration, so I might as well just do that because of what we did. That is a boss. We've got a free, because of our ring enchants, our toxic rain is actually free, but we don't have despair on hit, so it takes a while to take this beast down. I'd rather drop it and know that it's dead. And we can just race through everything else. Molten shells on cooldown again. As we get there, there it goes, comes off cooldown. This is why I've got it on my bar. Just because you can't cast it doesn't mean to say you don't need it on your bar, and I went the wrong way. There we go, got through it anyway. Run out of Quicksilver Flask. There we go. Very poorly executed, but you can see this character does do the job. Put all my stuff away. There we go. Just check these Goliath boots. Trash. Sell. Do bomb. There we go. Let's just go back to the hideout. And there's the gameplay. Now the character in League can do that exactly, albeit not as fast because of the Quicksilver limitations. And you've seen the video where I do complete a tier 16 Kirak map. So this character can do it all. I doubt it'll be able to beat the pinnacle bosses without you know, some severe investment into damage and getting that despairing. That despair is kind of required, really. You could potentially do an unset ring and then have Despair in the unset ring as a self-cast if you wanted to map with this character, so you just have one character until you've got enough exalts to then make a secondary character to do whatever you wanted with. But yeah, I think that's proven that this character can do that. Let's just take that off and look at the MTX. This character's MTX is Demon King Horns, Demon King Body Armor, Gloves, Boots, Nullifier Weapon Effect, Ember Keep Weapon. It's got the Eye Patch and Holy Eyes as the armor adjustments, and it's got the Nullifier Wings. And then we've got a Nullifier Portrait Frame and the Imperator Apparition Portal Effect. And I believe that blue is actually from the weapon. Yep, it's from the Nullifier Weapon Effect. So there she is. Now you can actually see there, you've got the Holy Eye and the Eye Patch. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got another heist video planned in the next couple of days. Not build related, but providing information and a ton of links where to find information about heisting and different builds, not from me, from other community members, giving you different aspects, and you know, whether Pathfinder is an option. You just don't get the onslaught effect, but you get a ton of flask effect. And I found a build that utilizes a mage blood. So for those of you out there that do have a mage blood, there is a heist build for you as well. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.